A few summers ago, I almost gave up on growing tomatoes. Every morning, I'd walk outside with my coffee, hoping to see healthy plants loaded with fruit. And at first, everything always looked promising. Big green leaves, thick stems, yellow blossoms opening in the morning sun. But then the same thing would happen every year. Tiny holes in the leaves, damaged fruit, insects crawling under the stems, whole branches suddenly struggling for no clear reason. And after weeks of hard work, the garden started feeling less peaceful and more frustrating. I remember standing there one evening thinking maybe my gardening days were slowly coming to an end. But then I started remembering something my grandfather used to say when I was young. He'd look over his tomato rows and quietly say, "Sometimes the best protection in a garden isn't spray, it's companionship." Back then, I didn't understand what he meant. Years later, I finally did. Because the solution that changed my tomato garden forever wasn't a chemical spray or expensive fertilizer. It was flowers. And honestly, once I started planting the right flowers beside my tomatoes, the entire garden began to change in ways I never expected. Not just healthier plants, a healthier feeling garden. And today, I want to show you exactly which flowers made the biggest difference and why science says those old gardeners may have been right all along. As we get older, many of us start looking for simpler ways to garden. We don't always want to spend our mornings mixing sprays or fighting bugs every single week. We want peace again. We want to sit outside, hear the birds, watch the bees moving through the yard, and enjoy the feeling that the garden is alive. But tomato pests can make that difficult. Aphids gather under leaves almost overnight. Hornworms chew through stems like tiny machines. Whiteflies spread from plant to plant before you even notice them. And sometimes the more chemicals people use, the less balanced the garden starts to feel. That's why so many old-time gardeners relied on companion planting instead. Long before expensive pesticides existed, gardeners planted certain flowers beside vegetables to naturally protect them. And today, modern research shows many of those flowers really do help reduce pest problems by confusing insects, attracting beneficial pollinators, and improving biodiversity in the garden. The first flower I tried was marigolds, and honestly, I planted them mostly because they reminded me of my mother. Every spring, she'd place bright orange marigolds along the edges of the garden fence. I can still remember the smell on warm summer evenings. At the time, I thought she planted them simply because they looked cheerful. Turns out there was more to it than that. Marigolds release a strong scent that many garden pests dislike. Some studies even suggest they may help reduce harmful soil nematodes around vegetable plants. But what I noticed most was how different the garden suddenly felt. The bright flowers attracted bees constantly. Butterflies started appearing more often, and somehow the tomato plants seemed calmer, healthier. That summer, for the first time in years, I noticed fewer damaged leaves and stronger tomato growth. Now, were the marigolds performing miracles? No, but they seemed to help create balance, and sometimes balance matters more than perfection in a garden. Another flower that completely surprised me was nasturtiums. The truth is, I almost pulled them out the first time I planted them. They spread wildly, the leaves looked messy, and honestly, compared to neat tomato rows, they seemed almost out of place. But then I noticed something interesting. The aphids were covering the nasturtiums instead of the tomatoes. That's when I learned nasturtiums are often called a trap crop. In simple terms, pests become more attracted to them than to nearby vegetables. It's almost like these flowers volunteer themselves to protect the tomatoes. And once I understood that, I started appreciating them differently. Gardening teaches you strange lessons sometimes. Not every plant in the garden has to be perfect to be useful. Some plants simply help by carrying part of the burden. And honestly, there's something beautiful about that. I also started planting basil between tomato plants. Now, technically, basil is an herb, not a flower, but once it blooms, pollinators absolutely love it. And many gardeners swear tomatoes and basil simply grow better together. Science still debates how much basil directly repels pests, but there's no question it attracts bees and beneficial insects into the garden space. And maybe that's part of the secret. Healthy gardens aren't empty. They're active, they're diverse, they're filled with movement and life. One morning last summer, I walked outside just after sunrise and sat quietly beside the tomato beds. And I realized something had changed. The garden wasn't silent anymore. Bees moved from flower to flower. Butterflies floated over the marigolds. Small birds hopped near the fence looking for insects. The whole space felt alive in a way it hadn't for years. And for a moment, it reminded me of the gardens I saw as a child. Back then, gardens weren't perfectly organized. There were flowers mixed with vegetables, herbs growing beside pathways, bees everywhere. And somehow, those gardens felt healthier than many modern ones do today. I think sometimes we've forgotten that nature works best with variety. Tomatoes growing alone in perfectly clean rows may look neat, but to pests, that's basically an invitation. One giant, predictable food source. Flowers change that environment. Strong scents confuse insects. Different colors attract pollinators. Beneficial insects arrive and help control harmful pests naturally. And biodiversity makes it harder for infestations to completely take over. In other words, flowers help create a more balanced ecosystem around your tomatoes. And honestly, that balance may matter more than trying to eliminate every bug in the yard. Because not all insects are enemies. Some are protectors, too. That's another lesson gardening teaches over time. You stop trying to control everything, and you start learning how to work with nature instead of constantly fighting it. Now, if you decide to try this yourself, you don't need dozens of flowers. Even adding a few marigolds, nasturtiums, or alyssum around your tomato plants can make a noticeable difference. Start small. Watch what happens. Pay attention to which insects arrive. Notice how the garden feels. Because sometimes the biggest changes in gardening happen quietly. Not overnight, not dramatically, just slowly, week by week. And maybe that's why gardening means so much to so many of us as we grow older. It reminds us that good things still take patience, still take care, still take time. What surprised me most wasn't simply that I had fewer pests, it was that the garden became enjoyable again. I started sitting outside longer in the evenings. I noticed more birds, more butterflies, more life. The space felt peaceful again. And maybe that's the real secret behind planting flowers near tomatoes. It's not only about protecting plants, it's about creating a garden that feels alive, a garden that welcomes life instead of pushing everything away. Because sometimes the healthiest gardens aren't the neatest ones. They're the ones filled with color, movement, imperfections, and balance. And maybe that's true for people too. If today's video brought back a few good gardening memories, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep growing together, one peaceful garden at a time. And take a look at the video on your screen now. It might save your tomatoes from one of the most common mistakes gardeners make every summer.